Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. This month we reach 200 Patreon campaigns with an additional 18 in the lightning round. These videos take a lot of work, so like and subscribe if you find them useful, or consider supporting me on Patreon. Quick content warning, some campaigns contain pinup style models, and I've left a link in the description to a video discussing why that may need a content warning. That said, let's get started. First up, Jeremy Smith has gnolls, snakefolk, and other creatures this month. This is Greed by Homunculus Creations. Sark's Foundry has the Frontier Ranger Corps this month. Toss a coin to your witcher, a Bunny Witcher by Sculpt Tuner. This is the Troll Wereshark versus the Old Hunter by Two Moronic Miniatures. The Beast is the new bust from the Surreal Factory. Here's some chaos-looking marines from Skaven Trader. The Lilalian Industrial Complex has created the Crab Surge Walker this month. Amut, the Soul Devourer, and Jasiri, the Pack Mistress from What the Hellmental Creations. Here is an interesting race of creatures from Zombie Smith Miniatures. Kepper Amun and Hiskan, two new statues from the Owl. These work-in-progress pics from the Sculptor's Cave are of a Mycelium Queen and a Swordsman Hunter. This is Gunonth, the Life Taker, from Miniatures of Blueprint. Your Neighbor Knight Minis has adventurers of all sorts. The Grukan, dangerous-looking space frogs from Blue Wyvern. Some cute things, and some less cute things from Tentacle Art. Here's the most recent release from 3D Dark Creations. Here's a Dryad and a Sci-Fi Angel from Claudio Cassini Art. A Corpse Root Primordial and a Blightroot Shade by Realm Gate Studio. Grave Markers and Pillars by August McDaniel this month. Ivan, once a vaunted shipwright of humanity, now shamefully plies his trade for the race of turtles. This is Gwarf, the Cyber Wolf, from Cybermyths, as well as some nice mini diorama spaces. War Miniatures has trolls and goblins, some riding wolves. Here are work-in-progress shots for Print, Paint, and Play's June release. Mecha Miniatures is working on Squigs this month, and this is a patron's head as a falconer. Star Pharaoh Foundry have Mine Worker minis this month. The Lionborn are the June release from Lost World Miniatures. Here is a look at the creepy creatures that Deathhaven has in store. This is Volus, an Egyptian warrior, and Monya the Druid, by 3DS of San. The Cult of Pickle is doing Desert Foliage this month. The Moon Clan is the June release from Arcanum Workshop. Art of Mike has a squad of modern sci-fi soldiers. Maps and Monsters has Bethos and Portals this month. This is the new diorama from Clay Demon Miniatures. Portal of Morrow has some great looking Peacemaker Marines. Red Dawn 3D Miniatures is doing Austro-Hungarian Great War Minis. Polygrim has a Native American tribe and scenery this month. Flesh of Gods has imps, heroes, a cave monster, and more. Renan 3D has a cyber monkey, a spaceship, and possibly more. Mist Boy Mini has a few different heroes for you this month. Celia Miniatures is doing some Thundercat themed chibis this month. From Random Miniatures this month, Ogre Tubbies are apparently a thing. My 3D Print Forge is doing gnomes, including a little mecha this month. Thunderchrome has sci-fi floor and wall tiles. Dottie Dungeon and Intorni is doing a big house and a dock set. Panzer Printer has a T-44 this month. Hell Creator has 3 ladies as both statues and busts. This mecha by Fable Table is still a work in progress. Here are some Mechanical Hive Overlords by Blue Art. An Ogre a Week from Bogatir Printables. Tomb of the Underground Kingdom is the June release from Savant 3D. The June statue from Kraken's Vault is in the process of slaying a dragon. Patrick Miniatures has a structure suitable for Zona Alpha. This pony by Happy Duck 3D is called the Bookworm. Turn-Based Miniatures has this Marsoc Strike Team this month. Here is a Jade Worm, Skull Knight, Abyssal Watcher, and more from 154. Camel Guard, Camel Merchants, Camel Camels, and a Skunk Alchemist by Jamie Corte. Goatmen, Blight Champions, and Hawkland Bandits by Magori Miniatures. Zombies, Survivors, and One Aberration from Vault Z this month. 2 Gargoyles Studio has a tank and many parts for their Soldiers of Viria. Red Nebular has small-scale forest goblins, cyborgs, hobgoblin autogunners, and more. Nova Minis has a Savage Lycanthropes pack this month. This Uber Mutant is by Imitation of Life Miniatures. Here's the finished version of the Smilodon I showed you last month from Labradorite Wolf. This is Modern Survivors Series 11 by Colossus Miniatures. Maddox Historical has more Austro-Hungarian infantry and cavalry. Across the Realms has a clan of Dragonborn this month. Knucklebones has 10mm Orc Command, a 28mm Spear Orc, a Minotaur, and more. Naga Minis has a Hippo Barbarian, Blowgun Sniper, a Fox Wizard on his trusty Pillbug, and more. These are some of the Dark Heart Hunters by Velrock Art Miniatures for June. From Orc King Space War, this is a Sanguinary Lord. Kurzluck Miniatures has Swan Knights this month. Greenskin Miniatures has Spear Chuckas, Trolls, Giant Squigs, and more. Legend Builds brings us Alistair from Megapeon and Zargana, the Assassin. Runesforge has modular Scavenger Scouts for their first release. Nua is the last model coming from Mojibake on Patreon. Check out their Kickstarters for more from them. Work in progress picks for Celestine and Bone Singers from Minigame Miniatures. The Demonic Circus is visiting town this month from Drunken Dwarf. Here's a peek at what Village's Doom Miniatures has in store this month. This Armus Terram Type F7 here is from Fichten Fu, aka Michael Fichtenmeyer. Heroes and Beasts has a Shaman for a hero and a Hydra for a beast this month. Role-Playing Miniatures has a Magic Broom, Mimic Rowboat, and other things. RG Sculpt is working on a Storm Giant and an Adventurer. Highcraft Miniatures has 5 Skelly Warriors and 3 big chunky Orcs. 3D Hexes has a nice set of modular Gothic buildings and ruins. Studio DR is doing a Necromunda-themed crossover with Crucible of Games and Sinister Cities. Crosslances has raptor-riding warriors and a few sci-fi Greeks. Chaos Bloom is the title of Print and Paint Miniatures' June release. Gloomy Kid Minis has Half Giants and Giant Rays. Cult Miniatures has forest spirits called Leshy, some of them riding pugs. A 10mm steam tank, Flagellants, and Gunners from Mini Rat Studios. Here's 2 work-in-progress picks from the Dork Factory. Dark Elves All Day from Ilhadio as Snakefolk, Horseback, Riding Raptors, and more. Crucible of Games' 2 Pie crew have some new warriors, snipers, and drones. In a lovely reversal of their norm, Battle Yak Miniatures has an all-female badass army with the only male being naked. Great Rot Part 2 by Fleshcraft Studio. Dragon Workshop is releasing the Argon Vostholt Rebuilt this month. A Hollander, a Juggernaut, and an Osprey from Matt Mason this month. Here are a couple previews of what Creature Armory has in the works. Creepy spine horror things and more from Void Realm Minis. Just 2 busts this month from Rober Roland. The mecha must have taken a long time. Sable Badger has Sci-Fi Scatterterrain, as well as Ruins, Barricades, and Crystals. Here is the High Touch team from Myth Bowl RNS Studio. Spartanian Outriders, Technox Heteropterek, and a Tidehaunter's Envoy of the Deep from Dark Foundry. Albino Raven Miniatures has a SWAT team and is working on criminals. Here are just a few of the minis and tile sets that Aether Studios is working on this month. I'm guessing this 10mm army by Onmyoji is Polish-Lithuanian, based on the Winged Hussar. Rebel Scum, beware. Maddox has stormtroopers coming for you. Here are some of the minis that DM Stash is putting out in June. Caballero Miniatures has this knight slaying a dragon and other soldiers as well. Outrageous Creations has this lovely tank this month, and a work in progress for a sister. Warplock Miniatures has 32mm creatures from the Woodland Realm, and a 10mm Beastfolk clan. Here are work in progress pics of what Tiger Skull RPG is working on. Here's a bunch of different sci-fi soldiers from Wake's Emporium. Kyoshu Neko Miniatures has sci-fi and steampunk dwarves with mechs and zeppelins. Sir Games has ornery owls for their June release. Clay Beast Creation has more of their Nova Raptors, as well as Titanodons. Lion Tower Miniatures has a Barbarian, Hunters, a Dwarf, and a Panther. This is a work in progress of Winry Rockbell by Dinamu 3D. Red Pilgrim has this Castellan Marine, as well as a team of interrogators. Among others, Big Mr. Tong has PT Droids, Mangalore Mercenaries, and Ruby Rod. Imperatum Art has this impressive command barge this month. Ella Art has a couple versions of a near replicant, as well as Wednesday Addams. Lontan by Sacris Mundus is an Eastern-inspired commercial haven. Here is a Drenheim Dice Tower from Code 2. Ronin Arts Workshop has several undead, as well as a druid and a warlock. Schlossbauer is starting to move away from mutated monstrosities, if only a little. Epic's End Stuffs has dinosaurs this month, as well as some rocky bases, and gotta have at least one turtle. Bright Minis has mounts this month, some lizards, one sausage, also some lizard folk and barbarians. Black Remnant has modular Nosorian troopers for the separatists among you, as well as droids and Jedi to fend them off. Factory has street barricades and mechanical sector scatter terrain. Titan Troll has an army of trolls, as well as a band of mercenaries or town guard to battle them. Alexei Konev has a plague demon and a demon of war, as well as a bust of a geisha and a bust of a word bearer. Is the new statue from Edith Cross 3D. Diwali Games has dwarves and orcs this month, some of them riding wolves. That Evil One has dreadnoughts, 4 armed marines, a new bust, and more. Dice Heads has a nice necropolis for June, as well as some adventurers brave enough to investigate it. Here are Manuel Boria's Loxodons all complete, as well as a peek at the winged kobold in the works. Edge Miniatures, The Cursed Dimension, has modular Cursed Warriors this month, with piles and piles of skulls. Twin Goddess Miniatures has a Goblin Queen this month, as well as a Slime Summoner, Tiefling Artificer, Warforged DJs, and more. Print Minis is working on a diesel punk crew, drilling for oil in the desert. Right Guard Knights, Warriors of the Serpent Tribe, Skink Salamanders, and more from Last Sword Miniatures. Signum Workshop presents the Holy Grifferum Empire, raring to fight any worthy foe in the way. Fort walls and taverns for Buccaneers Bay from Dark Realms. The city of Corsairs looks like it could have used some protective walls. The Road of Madness from Crippled God Foundry has the aesthetic of Oregon Trail meets Burning Man on Fury Road. Characters from Seb Miniatures this month include Ezra Bridger, Wrecker, and Crosshair. Also, modular Mandos and clone troopers. The Stoneborn of Fire Mountain by Daybreak Miniatures are a clan of Dragonborn with a ballista. Here's some Turtle Monks from last month by Duncan Shadow. June has gotten a little more mutated than normal. Sanix has statues of Sabretooth and the Winter Soldier. Great Grimoire has a couple of great female models before moving into things a little stranger. The Swamp Invasion from Print Your Monsters includes a bunch of cute little bullywugs with crocs, snakes, and more. Gear Guts has all sorts of orcs every month. Tough ones, runty ones, drivey ones, all sorts. Here are mongrel hordes from Raven Twin Miniatures, as well as a chariot and a jabberbeast. Yasashi Kyojin Studio has added a cloud giant to the collection, and will soon be adding this yet-to-be-posed Vrock. Here is a Knight Templar Champion, a Minoan Taurus Dreadnought, and the Hound of Hades by Atlan Forge. Masterwork Tools has mortar and stone building facade tiles, mud to cobble transition tiles, and some wooden barriers. Monstrous Encounters has modular foot soldiers this month, as well as a new SG team for their sci-fi release. Prey Collection Studio has more Gargoyles, Violator to go with Spawn from last month, and Old Hob from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cobra Mode has some interesting Noctuopedia minis, a Mage and a Pontifex, as well as a Terrapodea Assassin and more. Vevictus Miniatures seems to have a plague on their hands. The bodies are piling up, and plague doctors are lurking through barricaded streets. Asgard Rising has modular terrain, a warband of 6 English soldiers, and a group of 6 monks. The Kingdom of Coralan by 3D Digital Art has modular merfolk and some teethy little and big creatures for them to contend with. Not sure about you, but these two from the Printing Goes Ever On look a little sus to me. Gamescape 3D has some nice village scenery, including merchant stands for butchers, a tavern, hardware, groceries, and more. Rocket Pig Games has some nice beasts as usual, including a Xenosaurus, Monolith Knight, a Dark Spirit Tiger Rider, and more. Graveyard Shift 2 from Broken Anvil Monthly has hunters, Dracula, ghouls, scatter terrain, and more. Need a good recipe for a football team? Try Moonshine and Snotlings by Punga Miniatures. What could go wrong? Fotis Mint has the Lord of Darkness, as well as a Creature of the Dark, Venom, in bust and statue. Ritual Casting has Lady Zhu and a friendly river spirit lurking ominously behind her. I'm actually pretty sad to announce that Forest Dragon is closing down their Patreon. They will still be on Gumroad, but I'll miss looking up their 10mm armies every month. Strange fog is emanating from Printed Obsession, and you can see shapes moving in it. You hear the muted screams of the townsfolk. Do you enter? Bite the Bullet has a Storm Hero, Fire Artificer, a Water Druid, a bunch of different elementals, and more. Mia K is working on a Fire Horse, Elf Rider, and a Myconid Queen this month. The Dragon's Rest has a couple new tiles, and some gnarly tree edgers for their Ghoulberg set. The Sunland Imperial troops from Highland Miniatures are here to protect you from the vicious-looking Variags warriors. The three sets from STL Miniatures this month are Miners, a Horse Trainer, and a Librarian/Bookbinder set. Clay Cyanide Miniatures is exploring the Slavic mythos this month with 13 different models for you. Unit 9's Cyberpunk minis this month include Special Forces and Corporate Assassins. 3D Art Guy has vampire and bounty hunters this month, as well as Jedi, Sith, and their victims. Papsicles has some aliens versus humans this month, as well as an interesting set of metahumans. From White Werewolf Tavern, we have a Lord of Torment, a Sorceress, as well as Cultists, a Cult Executioner, and Cult Assassins. More Feral Halflings from 1 gold piece, this time including a female option. Also, a Mage's Construct, and possibly the mage that constructed it. American forces from Anvil Digital Forge stormed the beaches at Normandy on D-Day, with multi-part army men and bunkers. The Spires of Alstein from Bestiarum Miniatures have hired mercenaries and armed them well to protect their Towers of Secrets. Gomek has more Eldar proxies and mounted demons this month. Could be raining over at RNS Studio. There are quite a few clouds among their Classic RPG Volume 2 release. The other models are mostly recognizable characters or summons from the same game. Lost Kingdom Miniatures has druids this month, many of them mounted on kitsune. Also, some treefolk, or golems, called riku. Kaze, Kondo, and Miku are the heroes from Dragon Trapper's Lodge, and they have an airship for hunting legendary beasts such as Inazu, Kazankeshi, and the koi dragon Dorogo. From Epic Miniatures this month, the first set is called Norse Raiders. Starts with male Viking Raiders, Norse Trolls, the Horsemen of Famine, a Viking longboat for the Raiders, Dire Mammoths, one of them tamed, a Viking warrior with a shield, Snow Wyverns, Dwarven Raiders, Land Sharks, one of them is also tamed, female Viking Raiders, a Frost Demon, Valkyries, weird eyeless Grimlock creatures, Fafnir the dragon, a Winter Hag, 3 pig zerkers, and the owl goddess. Their second set is called Endless Nightmare, where which name matches which model is less clear. It starts with a Mother Hydra, Deep One Abominations, Atlak's Daughter, Lang Spiders, an Elder Thing, Shoggoths, Face Jumpers, and the alien beasts they grow up into, Cthulhu himself, Dimensional Shamblers, Arachne, a Moon Beast, the entity simply known as Darkness, the great race of Yith, the Nugsoth, Abyssal Lurkers, Yog Sothoth, and more Cthulhu Starspawn. Cast and Play is reaching into the depths of hell for their June release. There's a few heroes, a whole bunch of demons, and some tiles, scattertrain, and bases to put them on. One Page Rules is continuing their Duchies of Vinci with scouts, flyers, and an alchemist, and their alien hives with various different beasts. Big bots and walkers from the Maker's Cult, as well as a tentacled mecha, crusaders, Valor Corps artillery, a female techno priest, and more. Mini Monster Mayhem has all the dinos you need this month. Many of the bigger ones can also be tamed and act as transports or beasts of war, and there is enough here to fill out a nice adventure. Cyberforge has a good mix of sci-fi minis with some cyberpunk and post-apocalypse waste runners, as well as some heavy Tormentor armor and the Whale dropship. These two dragons from Lord of the Print come individually or as a pair. There are also some nice looking gnolls and wights, including two of them fighting in a pair as well. Heroes Infinite has Viking Gods and Heroes, featuring Odin, Thor, Loki, Freya, the Norns, and quite a few more. Squads for the upper tiers include Einherjar, Berserkers, Valkyries mounted and on foot, and there is some nice modular buildings as well. Here are a whole bunch of mimics from MZ4250 this month, as well as a Minotaur, Myconids, the Spelljammer, Nagas, a Nightmare, Half Ogre, a Rasta of the Endless Web, Oni, Oozes, an Orc, and more. Empire of Sands, Sekhmet Awakens from Archvillain Games includes Sekhmet and his sons and daughters, as well as golden scarabs, a pyramid golem, Salahari sand riders, and all sorts of sphinxy looking things. The Demonic Asylum from Titanforge Miniatures includes 3 massive demon lords, 3 unfortunate prisoners, and multi-part demon minions and centaurs, also 3 new titans of adventure. And finally, the Arvarians from Artisan Guild are a faction of satyrs and centaurs whose goal is to protect the sacred forests from the wicked touch of corruption. Okay, into the lightning round. Rising Kingdom Miniatures, 3D Print Games, Blastcool, Warehouse Workshop, Xeris, Platoon Prints, The Nalon Realm, Realm Strider, Stormcrow, Realm of Paths, Geek Undead Miniatures, JG Sculpts, Legion Miniatures, Kerpa Miniatures, Runesmith Miniatures, Miniatures by Ace, MT Forge, and Black Cobra Miniatures. That's all for now. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or consider supporting me on Patreon. Check back weekly for Kickstarter countdowns, and thanks for watching.